Hi there, welcome to the latest episode of my 10-minute moan. And the topic of this 10-minute moan is looking at the incredible situation where the Ukraine are advertising for paramilitaries to join their armed forces in their foreign legion. Now, before I start this video and go into the topic, I just want to clarify something. I don't like wars. I don't like picking sides in wars that I don't fully understand. But some people feel they are very, very intelligent and specialists in everything that happens all over the world. And I challenge any of them to actually know the truth about any of it, to be perfectly honest with you. But I try to take a sort of balanced opinion in any conflict, and that includes Israel versus Gaza, Russia versus Ukraine. And I think there's fault on both sides, if I need to be honest with you, with most wars that go on. And I'd really like to see them stop. And I'd really like to see peace. And when I see people warmongering that prevent peace, I kind of don't like that. And where I am with Russia is very, very simple. I don't understand the total historic content of what's going on. I do know that there's an area near the border where the people speak a lot in Russian and see themselves as Russian. Now, does that give somebody the right to invade them? Probably not. But the other thing is, how did they get there? Were they always that way, or have it been, people have been planted by Russia? I don't know. But one thing I do know is that Russia signed a treaty with Western countries about how far the United Nations UN forces would be from their borders. And now it looks like we might be getting countries right up to the border of Russia joining the UN. Now that could or could not be a justified reason for Putin doing what he's doing. I've been told that I'm a Putin lover or something, and recently, yesterday, when I made a comment about Zelensky's trip to the White House. And let me just put that straight to bed. I think the man's a nutcase, right? But does that mean he's right and wrong? I don't know. I'm not going to judge that. I don't think he's the safest guy in the world, but if I was a patriotic person, my country, I was leading it, and I had an agreement with the UN not to come close to my border, and they were trying to get countries that are on my border to join, I'd probably be a bit miffed. But does that give him the right to do what he's done at the start of this war? Probably not. So, on to topic. I was looking about the internet at some bits and bobs, just doing some digging about some topics that I wanted to learn up on. And I came across this. And this is the Ukrainian Armed Forces website, where they talk about their international legionnaires. And down here, it tells you that they're looking for legionnaires. And there's a couple of strange things on there that I thought, well, that's weird. Now, I understand that some countries might need, want, or desire to have form legions, and I know it's quite a popular thing across a lot of armed forces. But there was two things that jumped out at me with the Ukrainian legionnaires and what they're looking for. And the first thing you'll see up at the top here, they're looking for candidates from 18 up to 60 years of age. That's a bit scary. And I'm 52, right? Next month, this month, in March now. So I could go and join, or at least apply to join. And in 8 years' time, when I'm 60, just coming up for 60, I could still join, or still apply to join. And that's a bit desperate. I'm thinking, what? There's a couple of things. You've got to have no criminal record, which is nice of them. No chronic diseases. So you're not going to die on the way there. And you must have the physical form to allow you to carry out the basic training, which I don't know how good or bad that is. So I don't know I might not be physically fit enough to do it. I might be fine to do it. I don't know. And be able to enter the Ukraine legally. So going from the 18 to 60 bit, that was the first thing that sort of caught my attention. I then went down here where it says military or relevant experience as an advantage. Military experience is not mandatory, but may increase your chances of being accepted. Other relevant experience is having served as a police officer, you can kind of see how that would help, or a paramilitary organisation, firefighter, etc. Now that did catch my mind, and I thought, my understanding of paramilitary and theirs might be two different things, because it can mean different things to different people. So what I'd done then was, I'll just need to change this to another screen. I then thought, right, okay, well, let's just check what clever people think about what the word paramilitary means. And, oh, what have I got here? An advert, get that off. So, this is the Cambridge Dictionary. Their meaning of the word paramilitary is a group is organised like an army but is not official and often not legal. Another meaning is connected with and helping official armed forces. So that's why I'm saying to you there's two meanings to the word. And I'm unsure of which one the Ukrainians want to use when they describe what they're looking for in armed forces. But that's a bit mental, because it could mean they're quite happy to accept terrorists, people who are part of an armed force which is not legal. That would be, by definition, terrorists. And I know it's shocking, the amount of people they're losing out in that war. And I also have seen footage recently, quite a lot in the last 24, 48 hours, I think, because of the whole Zelensky-Trump thing falling out with vans. A lot of people were putting out, their polar positions on this war, because that's kind of where you are these days, isn't it? Everybody must take a polar stance, whereas I try not to. I try to look at both sides. But some people were showing lots of videos of what appeared to be people in Ukraine being abducted, taken off the streets by men in uniforms, into vans and SUVs and people carriers, etc. Excuse me. And what it's been explained to me is, or what we're expected to believe is, that these are people being conscripted into the army. Now, that may very well be the case. I don't know either way. But what I think we also must consider is, it might not be. This could be criminals being taken in. This could be people who were in the army and have absconded for whatever reason. So although these videos are numerous, and I mean lots of them, right? And the suggestion is that this is how the Ukrainians recruit their conscripts. That is one possible thing that's going on there, but it's not the only possible thing that's going on there. So although I think it could be happening, I can't say for certain that it is happening. But that might be why they're sort of lowering their standards of what they will and will not take into their foreign legion. Another thing I was looking at, if I can just go back to that screen again, is how much you get paid to be in this paramilitary force. And it's covered frequently asked questions. We go down here, and where are we? I did find it. It's here somewhere. Should have been how long, what languages, how do I travel, why I'll be compensated for tickets. They're saying no, and this makes sense to me. They're saying they won't pay for your travel to there, because if they did, people would just abuse it to be able to get to Europe free, and then they might bugger off. So I kind of understand that they won't pay compensation for your travel expenses. But here's a question here. Will I receive a salary? You will receive the standard salary for a Ukrainian soldier, and this will vary depending on conditions of service. Payment will be made in their currency to a local bank. Approximate figures in US dollars are as follows: $550 per month for being behind the enemy lines, so being nowhere near the front lines. $1,100 per month for serving in a dangerous zone. That's not fighting. That's just being in some place, possibly posting near the border, where there might not be bombs flying at that particular moment, but could be considered dangerous. However, the one that got me was £4,800 per month if you're deployed in a combat area. Now, that's quite a lot of money. That's probably about £4,000. Now, bear in mind, if you are a mercenary or that type of thing, you get no food to pay for, no digs to pay for, getting all your equipment given to you on arrival, and $4,800 just basically going into your bank account while you're there. So what I could see quite easily happening is these people, possible paramilitaries, that take them up in their offer, would be like volunteering, I'll go to the front line, because they would much rather make $4,800 being in there with a gun pointing at somebody else than getting $550 a month to be sat in some bunker somewhere in the middle of Ukraine. So you can imagine the people that are mercenaries joining their Foreign Legion and saying, I'll go to the front line, where you can have no experience and you could be anywhere between 18 and 60 years of age. It's getting a bit scary out there. So, there we go. That's my concerns about the Ukraine recruitment campaign to put people into their legion. But what it does mean to all these people that are crying out saying, no, you should never be giving in to the Russians. This needs to, got people in Britain with that opinion that, Ukraine has to defend its sovereignty, etc. And, do not even give an inch to the Russians. That's war can't stop until the Russians are totally dispelled from Ukraine. That type of person. Well, I've got great news for you now. You can join. Go onto the website, join, and they'll pay you to go and live out your ambitions for another country. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you've not already done so, please hit the subscribe and the notification bell. Comments below, please. That and hitting the thumbs up button, by the way, does wonders for the video. It helps the algorithms inside YouTube. It puts it in front of more people. So if you're enjoying the videos, please bear that in mind. But most importantly of all, unless you're the type of person that sits in the comfort of your sofa telling everybody else that they should be putting their bodies in line in another country in a war that's got nothing to do with you. Not you. But
everyone else, have a great day. Cheerio, bye now.